The statue's face looks a bit like that costumed hero you like so very much. I only wonder why you Americans have such an affinity for this kind of face. The statue wasn't made by an American, you know? At least I don't suppose so. So, I'm guessing it's the knife. And I'll point out... that? Shit. But wait, okay. One of the knives is one of the blades is missing. The knife display is set up almost identically to the one in the Babalese embassy. I believe Ambassador Paulino said that both Alabast and Babal have a set of 3 knives each. It would appear that way. Also, the knives here all have flowers on their handles. The 2 countries embellish their knives with their own national symbols, I guess. And just like the Aragarsus keys, they are exquisitely made. This level of craftsmanship makes these knives worthy of being owned by me. I believe you already have all the dangerous toys you will ever need, Franziska. Wait, what? Swapped with the real murder weapon's handle. And its blade has yet to be found. I could have sworn that when I clicked on this before, it told me that one of the blades was missing. What the hell? Would it be the knife handle then? I don't think that's a contradiction. Yeah, it's not. Fuck off. The spear is quite the symbol of valor. However, speaking of spears, they'll point something out about the spear? So what? It's like bent or something? Oh, that was right. What the fuck? Larry, about this spear. Oh, are you feeling it? Bam! I thought there was something strange about this spear. Tell me, Larry, is it just me, or is the spear a bit bent? What? No way, it's exactly as it should be, yo. I have here the autograph you wrote for me earlier. Now take a good look at this which you drew with your own hands. You can see that the spear is clearly of a different shape. What do you have to say to that? I'm sorry. When I hold this spear in my hands, all of a sudden I feel super powerful. And then, during practice, I was spinning it around and around, and then, bam, it hit the wall. You unbelievable. This is an embassy. But I've always been like that, ever since I was a kid. One time on an overnight field trip, I bought a fake sword and played with it late that night. I'm just a useless, hot-blooded man. Larry, clarify that for me, will you? Okay, so it was some field trip, and I began to shadow fight with myself. Not that, I meant what you said earlier, about spinning the spear and hitting the wall. Oh, that. It's no biggie, it's not like I left a hole or anything. That's not why I'm asking, Larry. The samurai spear is made of metal. I somehow doubt that a move as simple as spinning it around would cause it to bend. Man, Edgy, you're so naive. What? Where'd that come from? Well, you keep calling it the samurai spear, but it's not real. You can't really fight someone with it, because it's hollow on the inside. You can hit it against practically anything and it would bend. Is that so? Don't tell me you thought it was real. Huh, but don't take it the wrong way. I just think that part of your personality is cute. Don't call me cute. Franziska's being so homophobic right now. I see. Your friendship truly is something special, my Edgeworth. So is that it? Yeah, that's it. The counterpart to the Bobolese butterfly is the alabastrian flower. The butterfly and flowers are both lovely things. But can we interpret this to mean that alabast provides honey to Babal? Franziska, can't you come up with a more meaningful and profound comment? Very well, then. Let's hear what sort of profound comment you can come up with. Well, flowers cannot survive without the butterflies that spread their pollen. And butterflies cannot live without the nectar that flowers provide. If either one were to disappear from the equation, neither would survive. How was that, Miss Von Karma? Your explanation took so long that I nearly fell asleep. Well, let's continue the investigation. Francisco, why can't you just admit I had something there? Let me scope out the statue real quick. There was the exact same statue sitting in that Bobolese office we examined. It's the Prima statue. It was the national treasure of the Principality of Cordopia. There was only one of these statues, meaning that one of these two is a replica. But both Alabast and Babal claim to have the real thing. What an incredibly childish fight to have. Oh, what? It's very valuable, made of pure gold. It was a national treasure of Cordopia. There was only one of these statues, meaning that one of the two is a replica, but both Alabast and Babel claim to have the real thing and won't budge from their claim. Oh, fuck off. It was almost the exact same wall mount for the knives on the Bobolese side, but I can't see any of the details from this distance. The counterpart to the Bobolese butterfly is the alabastrian flower. God, I don't know why I started coughing out of nowhere. It told me to examine every nook and cranny, but everywhere that I click just tells me the same fucking thing. It's a Prima duck statue. That's it. What if I examine it again? Yeah, it just keeps telling me the same thing. The sword, maybe? But I feel like it's just gonna tell me it's a Prima duck statue again. I might just not be able to do anything with that yet. Larry, get the fuck out of my way. Oh, actually, wait. Let me examine this again. Can I go down? No, I can't. There was a grandfather clock just like this one in the Bobbly's embassy. You know, symmetry is a fine thing, but their interior design really suffers for it. Yeah, Me 6 just pinged the server again. Weird. Very strange. Really? I think this clock actually fits the decor of this room quite well. I suppose the wood does suit the all-natural atmosphere of this room. Its design and the material it's made of strikes a good balance with the plants. Hey, you two, now's not the time to be talking about interior decorating, you know? Hurry up and save me. Good, get his ass. Be quiet! This is all a part of my elite investigation. All you need to do is be quiet and watch. Actually, I do believe Larry has a point for once. What the hell is that? What is that plant supposed to be? Francisco, can't you see that it's supposed to be a likeness of Ambassador Alba? Miles Edgeworth, as a subordinate, you have a lot of nerve telling me what to think. I look forward to your next salary assessment next month. You're deluding yourself if you think you have any control over that. I guess we'll talk to Larry. Larry, there are a few things I need to ask you about. Hey, how about that? I've got a few things I'm gonna ask you too. What is it? It's like, both you and him. How is it that the two of you always manage to have some cute or hot girl by your side? And Francie, what about that promise you made to me? Promise? The one where you said you would model for my next book, Francie's Whippity Whip Trip. Yow! I made no such promise. Ever since grade school, we've had a certain saying about Larry. When something smells, it's usually the butts. One needs to look no further than this man to find the king of troublemakers. As I recall, aren't you calling yourself Laurice Dunham now? That's Dunham! Laurice Dunham! Get that straight in your head, Edgy. Ow! Now I remember, he was that rude, pale imitation of a real artist. No, you've got it all wrong. He gave up on that whole Laurice business. Besides, when Bangelina left me in my heart in pieces, that's when Mindy walked into my life. She's been so good to me that I wanted to help her in some way. And I figured I could through the Steel Samurai outfit. Your inane blathering makes less and less sense each time we meet. I believe he's saying that he picked up this part-time job as the Steel Samurai so that he may attempt to capture the heart of the actress who plays the Pink Princess. You got it. I knew you knew what I meant, Edgy. Not really. That's not so much as I understood, but a simple deduction based on your usual modus operandi, Larry. Larry, I'd like you to confess right now to everything you did tonight. Confess? Hey, don't tell me you suspect me too. Nonsense. I don't believe you have the mental acuity needed to plan and execute a murder. However, we are talking about you here, so I find it hard to believe that nothing happened. For past experience has taught me that you are always at the center of some insane event. Edgy, how can you be so mean, stabbing me with your words like that? Unfortunately, I don't have the time to search out a key to unlock your heart this time, so I suggest that you cooperate and tell me what you know. Okay, I get it. Just stop Fancy from whipping me from behind. So, I guess you know what I did, right, Edgy? I can't even begin to imagine. However, I imagine that whatever you were up to was probably beyond my imagination. So you will tell me what exactly you did, Larry. Nope, not yet, Edgy. It'll take more than that to loosen my lips. A lot more. Confess. Now. Okay, well, I was up on the roof. And why exactly were you up there? You know, that wintry costume and the legendary hero. Legendary? Hero? Santa Claus. Santa Claus. I wanted to do that thing he does, so I climbed up to one of the chimneys. When I got there was smoke pouring out of the chimney. And? Well, I couldn't go down in the chimney with smoke coming up, right? So I gave up. Larry, you do realize that Santa Claus does not exist, right? Of course I know. I did graduate from junior high, you know. Then you should also understand this. If Santa was real, he would be the biggest unlawful trespasser in history. Aw, crud! It is your attempt to imitate Santa that has landed you as prime suspect in this murder. Come on, man. What's so wrong with pretending to be Santa? Let's start with the fact that it will be the Ides of March in a matter of hours. Santa only visits homes on December 24th. That's in December, you nitwit. No! Hey, wait a sec. We're not in court. Fuck off, Larry. I'm going to arrest you myself, you dumb fuck. It's a fireplace. And by the looks of it, I don't think it's been used recently. Yes, I can't say that I see anything unusual about it. The person shaking hands with the steel samurai in this picture is Ambassador Elba. It was taken just before the murder. The steel samurai must be very popular. They're even using the national treasure as a backdrop. I just don't understand. What exactly is so great about Top Knot, there? Clearly there's a depth to this show that a young person like you can't fathom. Speaking of young people, aren't young children a target audience of this show of costumed actors? Oh, now I have something. Give me that picture. Look at this photo and tell me what you find odd about this scene, Miss Von Karma. The apparent joy on the ambassador's face as he shakes that top knot's hand. That's not it. I was trying to point out that the statue in the photo is facing a different direction. You're right. This statue is a national treasure. As such, only an ambassador or secretariat level person is allowed to handle it. The fact that the statue is facing one way in this photo, and now it's facing a different direction in this preserved crime scene, is proof that someone touched the statue around the time of the crime. Two gorgeous flowers are in bloom here. I'm sure flowers as lovely as these must have an equally as lovely name. Miles Edgeworth, are you done staring? I should hardly think passion flowers, or all's that rare? Passion flowers? That's a rather unusual name. It was named by priests in the 15th century for the Passion of Christ. This must be Ambassador Alba's desk. His notebook is open on his desk. He must have been in the middle of some important work. Sampling growth log. It finally sprouted today. Funny, that doesn't look like important work to me. So this is the victim, Damask 2. What is this gaudy outfit? You don't know about Mask Damask? A few months ago, this thief caused a lot of havoc on the populace. So this thief is separate from the Yatagarasu? I thought they were for a while, because their MO and targets were different. Damask likes high-value trinkets and jewels, and being gaudy is his signature. Gumshoe was in charge of that investigation, so he'd know more about Damask. That's alright. Or I'd probably hear tales of his failure anyway. You haven't changed a bit, I see. In any case, let's get started here, shall we? So definitely the cloth. I suppose this was the wrapping cloth Damask 2 used to carry his stolen goods, but there's nothing wrapped in it now. I guess he never did manage to get his hands on whatever it was he was out to steal. What is he holding? Oh, it looks like a piece of paper from a notepad. He wanted to steal the statue? It would appear that directions on how to reach this room are written by hand. There's something written on the back as well. I'd like you to steal the Prima statue in this room. What is that supposed to mean? Who writes a note to themselves like that? If I had to guess from the text, I'd say that this is actually a request from someone about what to steal. I thought that Damask had quit the business. This guy, he's just a copycat using the name. A phony successor. He is just another petty thief. His real identity is an out-of-work guy by the name of Kashino. He's 29 and wanted on larceny charges. From his clothes and what he was carrying, we determined that this guy's the real Damask 2. The cause of death appears to be the loss of blood from the back of his head. Seems that he was struck with something very hard. In other words, he was bludgeoned to death. So this is the murder weapon in this case. There's blood on the blade. It's a rather sweeping sword, isn't it? What did you expect? It's Steel Samurai Daddy's secondary weapon. I only call it secondary because although he uses his sword in most of his battles, it's his trusty samurai spear that he turns to in a real fight. You sure know quite a bit about the Steel Samurai. That's only because I saw the stage show earlier, I swear. I guess that about wraps up my investigation. That's... Who the fuck is that? Yo, Pink Princess! How are you feeling? Still feeling ill? I'm terrified as to who this may be. And yet another strange character comes out of the woodwork. And so the Pink Princess also comes to pay the Alabastrian Embassy a visit. I believe I may need to speak with her as well. Let's talk to this fucking idiot. Larry, about the samurai sword that was used as the murder weapon. Oh, that. Well, I shook hands with the ambassador in this room, you know. Yes, apparently you did. And, well, I totally forgot about it and left it behind when I left afterwards. You want to talk about shock? I was the most shocked of all when I heard it killed someone. Shocked! Foolish fool, looking especially foolish for foolishly stating such a foolish excuse. You forgot to take something that big with you? Who would believe such a tale? Sorry, Miss Von Karma, but I believe him. Because if anyone could forget something like that, it would be Larry. Edgy, you believe me. You just knew that our friendship is something special. Anyway, even if Larry had simply forgotten the sword and left it behind, that in no way clears his name. Which means that I will have to prove his innocence from a different angle. Miss Pink Princess, I have a few questions I'd like to ask you. Miss Pink Princess, if you would please answer. Oh no. Oh, I just can't get away from this bitch. Man.
This must be what they call fate.
How could this happen 2 days in a row?
What the? Aren't you Miss Oldbag?
Why are you so surprised?
So you're the one that got to play the Steel Samurai. It's too bad I didn't realize that until now.
You are acquaintances with Larry.
Why, yes, we worked at the same company for a little while, you know. That's why it's okay, my edgy poo. You don't need to be jealous.
Ugh.
I was in the next room, you know, trying to get in some beauty sleep. But it was so noisy here that I couldn't fall asleep, so I came over to complain. So imagine my shock when I saw my precious edgy poo waiting here for me. I mean, who could have imagined that you would ever come to a show like this? I guess I've misjudged you, edgy poo.
You misjudged him?
I thought he was trying to avoid me, you know.
There was no misjudging on your part. That's precisely what I was trying to do.
But it looks like the winds have shifted, and he's now willing to be chased after. I'm simply overwhelmed. Don't you worry, Edgy Poo. I chase you for forever, to the ends of the earth.
Isn't that just pitchy? This is one of those rare times when Franziska and I actually see eye to eye. Oh, Wendy Oldbag, I hope you die by the end of this case. Now then, what are you doing here? I thought you were working at Gatewaterland as the Pink Badger.
What are you talking about? That was ages ago.
That was yesterday.
Look, I worked at Global Studios before a long time ago, right? Well, they called me up this morning kind of out of the blue, actually.
And they called you.
Apparently, the girl who plays the Pink Princess collapsed from a bad cold. It happened so suddenly, so they called me in to be a last-minute replacement.
Did they not have enough people on staff at that studio?
I really couldn't say no, so here I am, playing the role of the heroine. Instead of that Mindy girl, I mean. But the poor girl, I feel bad for her. Because they let me stand in for her, she's gonna have a terrible time when she returns.
You're a rather lively old lady. Too lively, Franziska. Get her ass. So basically, you received this standing request this morning, correct?
You got it. If you need to see it, I've got it right here. Look.
It appears that she is telling the truth.
I tell you, my fine acting moved the entire audience to tears.
Yes, tears of laughter, as I recall.
The being famous has its problems too. You know, here, take a look at this. It's a letter from a stalker. I was just taking my break when I found this stuck under the door to my room. Honestly, you really have to watch out for these kinds of things. Look at what it says. Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight, your loving night. How absolutely revolting.
Ugh.
I mean, you'd think you could get my name right. There's no accent in my name.
Wait, this horrible handwriting. Where have I seen this before?
But now that you're here, Edgy Poo, I feel 100% safe.
Where do I factor into this?
You'd bust that evil stalker man for my sake, wouldn't you, Edgy Poo?
Well, if you allow me the liberty to handle this in my own way, I'll gladly dispatch a detective to your house later.
Oh, come on, Edgy Poo. Stop being so dismissive and playing so hard to get.
I'm going to kill you. With my own hands. This says Mindy. Motherfucker just doesn't know how to write. What were you doing at the time of the crime?
What crime?
What?
After the show was over, I've had nothing but free time on my hands. So I used the fireplace in the room next door to keep my bed hip warm.
Ah. Well, a murder occurred in the room right next to yours.
Is that right? Oh, Edgy Poo, I'm so scared. Hold me. Caress me.
And if you could please not cling on to my personage. In any case, I take it then that you failed to show up at Ambassador Alba's speech.
Oh, that. No, I didn't go. I mean, I may have the heart of a young tender maiden, but my body just refused to cooperate at times. As soon as the show ended, my hips started acting up and I got stiff. I couldn't move at all.
Can you provide proof of your condition?
Oh, you just go on ahead and ask the doctors in the infirmary. They're the ones who carried me from the theater all the way to this embassy.
I have to admit, the thought of her not being able to leave that room is rather pleasant. Oh my god, it's Missile! Good work. You may leave now, officer. This dog. I request the assistance of a dog in our search for the Yaragarasu. Looks like you guys have some pretty bright dogs in this country, too. Hey, you're a real cutie, aren't you? Yeah, that's a good boy. That's the police dog Gumshoe's been taking care of. I think its name is Missile. What a fitting name for a police dog that dashes out in front and attacks. That action alone isn't exactly what's gonna solve the case for us, you know. Now, Missile, I want you to find some clues. Go! Woo. Wow, already? Good dog. You really are quite bright, aren't you? Unlike a certain someone I know. Now, what do we have here? What is this? It looks like a small hound dog, but... Wait, Franziska, isn't that an official samurai dog? Arr. What, is he eating it? It's just a meat substance snack featuring the steel samurai. I'm sure he'll be fine. That's quite a bit of information you guys did in a single quick glance. We should really be focusing on why there was a samurai dog there in the first place. A shirt? What the fuck is that? Oh, a lady's undershirt. I somehow doubt that. It doesn't look like the shirt would even fit him. Samurai dog and a lady's undershirt. What are these two items doing in a room like this? Given the circumstances, the lady's undershirt could only belong to one person. Suppose I should get this over with and ask the owner of said undershirt about it. I don't want to. Okay, but first, let me talk to this fucking idiot. Actually, let me do this first. Motherfucker went to the wrong room. There is no trace of this room's fireplace being used. And your point is, smoke was supposedly pouring out of the chimney connected to this fireplace. At least, according to Larry. This is a contradiction of facts, is it not? Are you sure he wasn't just disoriented or something up on that roof? There is testimony from an investigator that puts Larry at this particular chimney. The chimneys are connected, so no, I don't think it was a mistaken impression on Larry's part. On the other hand, the fireplace in the next room was being used at the time. Where do you suppose the smoke from that fireplace went? Ah, I see. So what you are proposing is this. The smoke that came out of the chimney was actually from his old bag's fire. So basically, the fireplaces of neighboring rooms share one chimney. Is that what you are implying? Precisely. Right, let me talk to this idiot. Larry, I wonder if you might know what this is.
Nope, not a clue.
You didn't even look at it.
Nah, that's because the only thing I can see right now is the form of my lovely Franzi.
Oh, in that case, allow me to help you sear my form into you for all eternity. Now this is a trip I'm willing to endorse, especially if we can finally get some peace here. Oh, I can go backwards. I don't know why I haven't been doing that. If you could please take a look at this brown-colored undershirt.
Oh, Edgy Poo, what's the meaning of this? Why'd you steal that thing from my bags? All you had to do was ask, and I would have gladly given you as many as you'd like.
Ugh. Thanks, but no thanks. This shirt was found here at this crime scene.
What?
Come now. Why don't you just confess and explain what it's doing here?
I know nothing. Nothing, I tell you.
What?
Oh, I admit that I used the fireplace to dry that shirt, but I can't really help the fact that I had to, you know? Wearing that pink princess costume was like being in a sauna. And on top of that, I get fingered as a suspect? You're too cruel, Edgy Poo.
Are you claiming that you never once set foot inside this room?
Of course I am. If I had been the one to find the body, do you think I'd be as calm and relaxed as I am? I tell you, it's always like this.
Go fuck yourself, Wendy Oldbag. Well, I don't believe she's lying about her actions, so I can safely assume she really was drying her shirt by the fireplace on her break. And somehow the undershirt managed to move from the next room into this one. There it is. I assume the samurai dog was also yours.
And that brilliant mind of yours, you really can see through everything about me.
That samurai dog was yours, wasn't it?
Oh, of course I'm forever yours, my edgy wedgy poo.
If you could just stick to what I asked you.
Edgy, are you in Miss Oldbag?
No!
You really don't change, do you? When will you learn how to take a joke? Anyway, that samurai dog wasn't mine. Those things are a present for the studio to the embassy.
A present?
The studio bigwigs basically told us to play delivery boys. We were supposed to hand the dogs off to the embassy people and tell them hi. I had to pile them all into the pushcart just to move them all. Those studio guys should have delivered those things by themselves, right, Edgy?
So, did you deliver the samurai dogs to the embassy staff as per your instructions?
Hey, Edgy, don't just ignore me and my question. Aren't you gonna stick up for me? About that. See, after the show, I went to rest a spell in the dressing room. Because of my bad hip, you know? And there they were. The samurai dogs were just sitting on the dressing room floor.
I suppose you had to make preparations for distributing them after the show.
Well, if by preparation you mean sampling them as well.
Excuse me?
Oh, I tried one and thought they were actually quite good. Sorry, but I just had to find out. I know it was silly of me to think this, but I figured that since they're for a kids show, the taste was probably for kids too. But they were so good that I couldn't stop. Before I went back to my room, I just had to help myself to half a dozen or so boxes. This bitch had 6 boxes. What is it now? Oh, I know. I bet you want a box too, don't you, my edgy poo? Well, who am I to say no to you? But I'll only give you one. The rest are all for me.
Samurai dogs forced onto me. Looks like the lesson for today is that when the serial samurai and the pink princess take off their masks, they transform into a pair of annoying troublemakers. So now I can logic 2 things together. Beep, bop, beep. The lady's undershirt that Missile found. Why are you getting all excited over holding onto a lady's undergarment? Mindless Edgeworth, you uncouth sea slug. If you know the owner set undershirts, then hurry up and return it to her already. You have it all wrong, this is evidence. The owner of this piece of evidence was in the room next door. And yet, despite that, Missile found it in the fireplace of this room. This lady's undershirt. Are you seriously claiming that it somehow passed through a solid brick wall? Not quite. The fireplace in this room is connected to a chimney. The other fireplace in the other room is also connected to the same chimney, leading us to the possibility that the two fireplaces are connected to each other. Perhaps a closer look at the back of the fireplace is in order. There's an X on the back wall of the fireplace. Let's see if I can't get a better look at it. Oh, what the fuck? But the fact that there is nothing special about the next room isn't what's important. It's the fact that there is a secret passageway through this room's fireplace. What the fuck? I had the room layouts mixed up. Oh, but this makes sense. I guess if the door's over there. Fuck off. We now know that the fireplace connects the two rooms. But how exactly is that significant? You aren't going to suddenly name the old lady as Damask True's killer now, are you? No, she couldn't move at all because of her stiff hip, so she could not have been the one. Unfortunately, I believe that this fireplace has nothing whatsoever to do with Damask 2's murder. Give me my health back, bitch! It would appear that the answer has made itself known. You're making quite a confident face there, Mr. Prosecutor. Bring it on. I'm ready to counter any argument you may have. Very well then, if you are prepared. I'll show you exactly where my deductions have led me. Good. I'm counting on you, Edgy. Leave it to me, Larry. My first attack will be to expose your lie for what it really is. I know that there is still something you're keeping from the rest of us. What's wrong with you? Why is it you won't believe me no matter what I say, Edgy? Curse you. I should just hurry up and die already if that's how it's gonna be. I'll confess to every murder in the whole world and then kill myself and throw everything into mass confusion. You made some wonderful friends as a child, I see. Larry, I only have one thing to say to you. Even if you make that face at me, it's no use. A man who's ready to die is strong-willed, you know. Larry, it doesn't matter what sort of harebrained trouble you've caused. I only ask that you do not lie to me. If you cause an innocent person to be judged unfairly because of some insipid lie, I will never forgive you. Although, allow me to say that I consider you to be among the innocent in this case, and that I will draw the real killer out. You can trust me on this. Alright, This time I'll tell you the whole truth, okay? What happened, what didn't happen, the works. Why does he have to testify? I fucking hate this bitch. Look at his dumb idiot face. I'm gonna set it on fire. After the show, I left the pushcart in the rose garden and came into the embassy. Then they took a picture of me shaking hands with the ambassador. After that, and until my next appearance, I had some free time, so I wandered around. That's when I spotted the chimney. A chimney like that is a rare thing, you know. So then, I wanted to play Santa and decided to give it a try. Larry, I thought I just finished telling you to not lie anymore. But it's kind of ultra embarrassing. Hi, Cam. Thank you for the sub. Much appreciated as always. You're boosting me to my ultimate career goals. Welcome to you've been a part of the Gooch gang. I don't know. Yeah, Larry's here. Also, somebody else that we know is here. It's a good old Wendy fucking Oldbag. And what exactly is so ultra embarrassing that you can't tell me? Edgy, man. I just said it was embarrassing, so of course I can't just blurt it out. Yeah, I know. Gooch Gang sounds terrible. That's why I said it. As your superior, I command you to hurry up and expose this man's lie. I have every intention to, for I'm not about to let us waste time on such a trifling matter. It's the fucking thing. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Sure. Does this work? Fuck. All I want is to be able to do things on the first try. But unfortunately, I'm unable. I can't believe I lost to fucking Larry Butts. You suddenly wanted to play Santa. Oh, well, actually, I dressed up as Santa once before already. That was down at Gourd Lake. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't dredge up such unnecessary memories for me. Sounds like you guys share a lot of history. A perk to being childhood friends, huh? Besides, it's not a felony to dress up and play Santa, you know? Santa doesn't go around killing people after he comes down a family's chimney after all. Actually, is it worth delving into whether or not playing Santa is a big deal? Yes, because he wasn't playing Santa. He was trying to stalk his fucking coworker. You're saying that your buddy isn't exactly made of Santa quality stuff? Precisely. You hit the nail on the head, Agent Lang. Hey, Edgy, it's so incredibly mean. Tell me something, Larry. Did you know that Santa's job is to deliver presents to people all over the world? Of course I know that. I did graduate from junior high, you know. In that case, it's your turn to tell me something. I want you to tell me to whom you were delivering a present to. I was, delivering a present to a child not basking in the glow of love. Also, hold on, I gotta check something. This thing's supposed to be delivered today, but I haven't heard heads nor tails of it. Still in Sun Valley, fuck off. And no text messages about it either. If this thing that I get shows up while I'm streaming, I will try it on stream. That must be the most elegant description of you I've ever heard, but a lie is still a lie.
You sure know how to kick a guy when he's down, you know that?
In any case, the person you wish to deliver a present to unto was most certainly this. No. Mindy's not here, right? That's Kay, it's Sheena, it's Byrne. That's Cece. Or Callisto. I think it might be this. Yeah.
Interesting taste you have there, Mr. Suspect. Don't spread lies about me. I totally don't want to see Miss Oldbag so much that I try to go down a chimney.
I advise you to stop right there on your bashing of a lady. Well, I must admit that I, myself, hardly ever have the want to run into that lady. However, what if you were misinformed and under the wrong impression? Then what?
Define wrong impression.
I simply mean that the man before you thought to enter the old lady's room without knowing one very important fact. And that fact is best summed up with this. What the fuck? No. Hold on. What the fuck? That I never knew existed. What? Was that piece of evidence unrelated to the question at hand? No. I need to think through this one more time. Larry didn't know one very important fact when he tried to sneak into the old bat's room. And that fact is best summed up with this. Oh. Fuck off. I was so close. I'm getting greedy. I'm getting greedy. It's fucking me over. This is something the old lady received from her employer for the night. The girl who normally plays the Pink Princess, Mindy, was it again? It seems that this man is quite taken with an actress. But that's not true, Edgy. She's the one with the hots for me. I just know it. I can feel her sexy beam piercing my heart when she's watching me. Sexy beam, I tell you. Larry, I'm going to kill you. You haven't matured at all since we last met. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes? This guy, he's got bigger problems than just getting involved in murders, I take it? I suppose you could put it that way. Hey, what the heck, man? I don't get you guys at all. Why do you all have to make me out to be some sort of bad guy? To return to the original topic, I propose that at least this much has been made clear. Without any knowledge that Miss Mindy had fallen ill, Larry tried to make his way into the Pink Princess's room. That much we know for sure. Hey, Edgy, looks like I've got the hang of this court thing now. But we're not in court at the moment. Shut up! I see what's going on here, and it looks just like what you do in court. I guess old boy still has something he'd like to say. As he says, until the root of the tongue dries, one never knows the whole truth. You shouldn't form conclusions until everything is out of the open, which is why I'll listen. Alright, then get ready to listen to me defeat Edgy in a battle of wits. Oh, I hate Larry so much. So you think that all I wanted to do was go visit Mindy? Well, I dressed up as Santa and climbed up to the chimney, but the smoke was really thick. It was a case of mistaken identity, and that mistake made me late for the speech. But then, to top it all off, I became a suspect in a murder. That's what you really meant. But why would I ever put myself through so much humiliation on purpose? Hey, someone say something. Larry, are you seriously trying to submit this, not as a confession, but as testimony? So what if I am? Is there something wrong with that? My claim is a claim, claiming my claim. Do you have a problem with that? So is you. You're my stalker. But I should warn you, it doesn't matter what kind of flattery you throw at me. I'm the devoted type of woman who's wholly focused on one man and one man only. And that's Edgy Poo. I hope both of you die. A painful, painful death. You're such an inconsiderate, cowardly, idiotic, and all-around completely verseless man. I thought I heard something ominous just now, but perhaps it was just my imagination. I believe there's nothing further for me to prove at this point. What do you mean? Of course you still got something to prove. You still have to show some proof that I was trying to meet up with Mindy. Proof, you say. Remember, Edgy? Everything is evidence in court, right? You mean evidence is everything in court, Larry. But I understand your point. Yeah, see, I'm totally a pro at this now. Very well. If you wish to see the evidence, then let me show you the last piece of evidence you'll ever wish to see. So, I need proof. Yeah, I just need proof. I just need him to say, "Oh, you can't prove that I wanted to see Mindy." Yes, we'll stamp it under our feet until it's been ground to a fine powder. A fine powder? Okay, this whole testimony is one giant confession of all that he's done tonight. He's practically begging me to show why he bothered to put himself through all of this. What does the letter say? Alright, finally, got that letter out of my fucking pocket. Larry, don't even think about denying that you have knowledge of this letter.
Hey, why are you showing that thing to me?
Vindy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight, your loving knight. Well, isn't that just romantic? But you weren't able to descend on her from above, were you, Mr. Loving Knight?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember a thing.
You can pretend to be ignorant all you'd like, but it's written right here. This letter proves that you were not out to meet the old lady, but rather that you were attempting to pay Miss Mindy a visit. What part of this letter shows that the person Larry had intended to meet was Mindy? The fucking name? Larry, I suggest you take up penmanship lessons. That is, if you never wish to experience this level of embarrassment ever again.
What the heck? What are you talking about? Speak English.
You wrote Mindy so sloppily that it became a Wendy to the average eye.
Hey, stop picking on me. It's so embarrassing.
There.
Isn't that what childhood friends are for? They're the best, aren't they?
For punching.
But then we'll have to wait until we're off of this crime scene. Edgy, save me from the scary man.
Sure. If you're willing to make amends, starting with your incredibly embarrassing mistake.
That wasn't me.
Come again?
It's a fake. Someone's out to get me, so they made that fake letter. To set me up.
Accept your defeat graciously.
But you guys are being so mean.
Penmanship Analysis.
What's that?
No matter who, all people have certain unique features to their handwriting. Ergo, all we have to do is compare the handwriting in this letter to a sample of yours, and we'll know soon enough who it was that sent this letter.
I'll never write another thing in my life.
It's no use, Mr. Loving Knight, for you've already graciously provided me with a sample of your handwriting. This autograph and our mysterious letter. If we compare the handwriting, we'll know the answer to our questions soon enough. Confess now, Larry, to your miserable failure.
I'm sorry. I did it. It was me causing trouble again. I admit it. You hit the nail right on the head, Edgy.
So he finally confesses.
I saw the pink princess being carried around in a stretcher and got worried, alright? I wanted to go into Mindy's room, but the doctors wouldn't let me in. So what choice did I have? It was the chimney or bust, Edgy.
Your mind jumps from the door to the chimney? What a criminally overactive imagination.
Well, at least I was honest and wrote Mindy a letter and stuck it under the door. That way she wouldn't be so shocked when I came down through the chimney.
Except for the fact that the letter was an utter failure at conveying said sentiment.
I'm really, really sorry.
Larry, you may be a shameful, good-for-nothing blight on the face of humanity. However, I always knew you weren't the killer. I told you to trust me, because at the very least I can attest to that about you.
Edgy, you're...
We've lost a lot of valuable time because of you. In any case, I believe we can say now that we know exactly what happened. Mr. Larry Butt sought to climb down the chimney, not for access to the crime scene, but to enter the room of the elderly lady next door.
Great job, Mr. Prosecutor. Although, I still find it a bit unbelievable that two of you are friends. But the suspicion on that guy over there isn't completely resolved yet, so don't get any funny ideas about running off, okay? Wow, hey, what? Edgy? What does the Wolfman mean when he says I'm not off the hook yet?
He means the murder weapon. Larry, did you forget? There are 2 layers of suspicion hanging over your head.
That's exactly what I mean. We can't only rely on the words of the suspect after all. We may have figured out where he was and what he was doing all night. But the blood-stained samurai sword that was left at the crime scene, as long as there's no satisfactory explanation for that, this wolf will refuse to ease up on his bite. Edgy, that guy, he looks like he's seriously about to take a bite out of me.
I'm well aware. And you should be as well that this upcoming battle will be crucial. Thanks to the cooperation of our lovely Bumbler, I've been dealt a very nice hand and a sweet trump card. Looks like we're all about to enter the final bout. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, let's see what you've got. But the real problem for me is figuring out what the real murder weapon is. Why Larry? I was the one who found the body of the victim damasked too. Beside him was a samurai sword, glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. It was supposed to be in the Steel Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect Larry Butts, in here too. Isn't it a bit far-fetched to accuse someone simply on the basis of ownership? But this owner wanted to sneak onto the crime scene. I think it's plenty to go on, you. If you're alluding to his reason for being by the chimney, we've already established that. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. You two are longtime friends, right? Who's to say you didn't fabricate the evidence to give him an alibi? You're accusing me of fabricating evidence. You think I can believe anything you produce? Forging evidence is all you prosecutors do. This man has some serious issues with prosecutors.
But come on, I can't think of something as complicated as that, right, Edgy?
Larry, I can agree because I know you and your personality well. However, Agent Lang knows nothing about you or me for that matter. I sense his hatred for my entire profession emanating from his entire being. Meaning that the only way I can prove Larry's innocence is to present irrefutable evidence. Okay, so... beside him was a samurai sword. It was supposed to be in the Steel Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect, Larry Butts, in here too. So you were the first to discover the body this time. This time? What's that supposed to mean? You'd better watch what you say. I only said this time because earlier Kay was the first to discover the body in Babal. And her secretary, Agent Sheena, was ready to accuse her of murder for doing that. But in the Babalese case, there was proof that she was holding the weapon, right? Well, this one, it's a bit different, since we know exactly where the weapon is. I'm so hungry. Do I have to spell it out for you? I meant the sight and smell of blood, of course. And according to the test, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made to only be used on stage, so it's not sharp, but it is pretty weighty. It's certainly have enough to beat someone to death with. Which leads me to suspect that the victim was beaten to death with the sword. Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by. Got it. My balls are huge. Do you know what this is? Agent Lang? It's a long spear, right? We used to use those along my country a long time ago. Piercing, mowing people down. Spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history. It's the next most effective weapon after the whip. I think the whip is in a slightly different category. So, what's your point? Are you going to tell me that the spear is the real weapon? No. I simply want you to take a look at this section here. The way it's bent? Precisely. Apparently, a certain troublemaker hit it against the wall in this embassy earlier, and as you can clearly see, the insides of the Steel Samurai's weapons are hollow. In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deliver a damaging blow, let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. And yet, There's not even a dent in the samurai sword. How do you explain that? Oh yeah, sword and the spear are made of the same stuff so they bend easily. But I wish I'd make them out of better stuff, because the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer rain jab move. Man, I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing it in the show. So it got bent fucking way early. Youch! That's more than enough of your whiny whimpering. Now, back on the topic of the spear. Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion. This is where the real gamble begins. I don't have a real strategy per se, so all I can do for now is let the chips fall where they may. Using guesswork and taking risks in place of real logic is hardly the Von Karma way. It's neither smart nor very clever. Miss Von Karma. As you know, unlike your father, I am not a genius prosecutor. Plus, I doubt his record of a 40-year win streak will ever be broken. But perhaps it is for the best if it remains unbroken. For no one should have conceived of the notion to convict all defendants in the first place. What a foolishly foolish statement from a foolish fool who hates to lose. It's the job of a prosecutor to make sure that all defendants are found guilty in court. There's nothing more important in this world than a perfect victory. That may be your opinion, however, I don't believe that's all we are. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect victory, but the perfect truth. And if that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, then let it crumble as I walk on towards the truth. Shut the fuck up, Lang. I was monologuing. You're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor, but you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump and we expire. I'd like you to consider, if you will, the possibility that the sword was used in such a way that the attack killed Miss Damask II without bending it. No. No, I disagree with your hypothetical scenario. I think you know what to do here, right? And what you need, of course. What I need is evidence even Agent Lang can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. Why, Larry, Part 2, it's possible to use a samurai sword to kill someone. And under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We'll search the embassy top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. So, isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall into the owner of said weapon? No. How long do you intend to cling on to that preposterous theory? As long as I want, because we examined every corner within the walls of this embassy. There's no stone we've left unturned, and we have managed to come up with only one logical conclusion. That the only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is this sword. You left no stone unturned, is that a fact? If you've got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you. I can't think of anything off the bat, so I gotta do the tried and true. May I inquire as to how are you able to make such a claim, Agent Lang? Lang Z says, capable of miracles beyond comprehension, a mysterious creature is man. Rather than man, it's Agent Lang's quotes that are getting increasingly incomprehensible. The human body is a mysterious thing. Even with a toy-like sword, it's easy to kill a man if you hit just the right spot. Which is why I think it's possible to kill with this thing without leaving a dent. But we can only be sure of one way or the other by seeing if the wound matches the sword. Huh, I know that. But as long as it's a possibility, I can proclaim it as much as I'd like. It's not the only logical conclusion, though, because it don't make fucking sense. Could it be the statue? Because the statue is turned, but there's no blood on the statue, which is why that makes it weird. Unless it's hidden in there. On the samurai sword, that's right. Even with the luminol. No other possibilities outside of what I've already outlined. If you believe that there's no other door of possibility left to open, then allow me to force one open for you. And how do you plan to do that? By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon. Of course. Because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in their investigation. What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games, and I don't appreciate it when people like you slander my men. I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigative dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, that there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is their real murder weapon. Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real weapon that killed Damask II. What exactly is it? We're in Alabast, right? Let me try the statue. Oh, fuck yeah, dude! The national treasure of Alabast. You mean the Prima statue? Yes, and as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it. Which, I believe, means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? Huh. You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident between the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babal. The two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. But I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined. Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different, and there's only one conclusion I can draw from that. Go look for Ambassador Alba and get him to give us the okay to examine the statue. Oh shit. That was the wrong voice. He's most definitely trying to trick you. Shifu, please, let's be rational about this. Langzi says, just go already. Yes, sir. Shifu. Yeah. I am really sorry, sir, but I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the Prima statue. Huh. I see. Wait, but then the investigation is at a standstill. Agent Lang, I will go and speak with the ambassador personally. Save your breath. He may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. But I guess you've got to be tough when you're representing a whole country, you know? Agent Lang, what do you want? Let's just hurry up and examine the statue already. What? But Shifu, what about causing an international incident? Quiet. I'll take the fall if I have to later. Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine, so if someone is to take the responsibility, let it be me. Responsibility? If we're gonna talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem for my men if something were to happen to me. Alright then, less talk and more investigating. If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lang, I'd like to run a luminal chemiluminescence test on the statue. So there might be blood on it? Oh! My balls are huge! I guess this means that this is the real weapon that killed Damask II. Indeed. But I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. It doesn't prove that he didn't kill Damask II, so the charge remains. We are hardly done examining the statue, Agent Lang. Knowing that it is the real weapon, I believe further examination is required. Gotcha, bitch. And what do we have here? This dirty smudge. Looks like a handprint? What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? Looks like we've got some fingerprints to analyze. I don't think it's Larry's. Larry's been wearing that dumbass suit. Oh my god, this motherfucker killed himself on accident. Manny Cochin? Whoa! That's not what I expected at fucking all. No, that's impossible. Each Prima statue can only be handled by someone of that country. But by the very fact that Mr. Cucci's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. This statue is actually Babel's Prima statue. Impossible. It can't be. Holy shit, this shit just got crazy, my guy. Larry never once set foot on Babelese soil, so he was free to go. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an alabastrian knife in Babel. And Damascus was killed on alabastrian soil with Babel's national treasure. And the mystery of the great thief Yadagaras who visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big picture they were to form. Holy shit, this is insanity. Also, I think I'm going to be done here today. 2 parts, I think, was a decent run. Because, oh fuck, what is this, like 7 parts? But if it's only like 10 hours, I've already been going for like 5. So I think we should be okay to run through all of it next time. So I think we'll just do that. Also, I'm fucking starving, and I don't think I have the energy to keep voicing. I might die. But, stream was weird today because it disconnected in the middle, so I think this counts as actually just 2 streams, which is super weird, but whatever. But then tomorrow is going to be another podcast stream, and I think maybe, because my girlfriend and I bought some crocheting tools yesterday, and we were going to try it out. So I think maybe we'll just make like a crocheting stream tomorrow, and like just crochet together and see what we can make. That might be fun. That might be interesting. But besides that, Monday is going to be back to this, and I'll try and finish the rest of this case. I'll try to have like some food on hand too in case I get hungry again. But thank you all for tuning in, as always. Here's the schedule, as you all already know, as per the usual. And I will see you guys all on Monday. Thank you for the support. Thank you, Cam, for the resubscription. Congratulations on our subscription, baby. And I'll see you all next time. Or I'll see you all tomorrow. And then I'll see you all on Monday, too. So, thank you, and see you next time.